on me. We're reviewing Feet. No, as much as no, I'm not that internet meme. We're not reviewing Feet. We're reviewing a very, very large. In fact, I might actually have to take this off of we're actually interviewing. Basically, it's pretty much a person. We're reviewing the made to order X-Men '96 Sentinel that was released last year. Well, it was put into listing last year, and then was completed at the end of last year, and now it's here. I love this thing, by the way. It comes with some extra stuff. Where is the extra stuff? We're gonna go over the accessories, but like this thing is so cool. Because you're probably like, oh, but you're going to use this bad guy. But no, they give you pieces, and you can tell your own story. Like there's damage in the head, and so the Sentinel became a friendly Sentinel, or was reprogrammed by whatever. There's also a chest piece missing, which is in the accessory. And this thing is really cool. I don't know how I'm going to share the articulation without it. Like, it's so big. Previously on X-Men. I'm just kidding. Previously, my biggest figure that I owned was Star Optimus, which I got like I think it was in November, October. Like trying to get Star Optimus in frame was already hard enough. Trying to get Sentinel is like a third larger than Star Optimus. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I guess we're just gonna do body section by body section. It's so big. It's so big. It's so large. So yeah, we'll start with the feet. I have lagged out my camera. Start with the feet. Everything's pretty much almost ratcheted in, which is great. But I then forget, because they're ratcheted in, that they are also a little harder. They're not squishy joints. So there's a ratchet in there. You can switch this around. You can manipulate the boot part to get a little more. You switch the top is back here and the bottom is back here. I'm not going to try to do that because I would need, again, two hands. There's a lot of posing where you need two hands. So I'm just gonna keep it in this thing. And then there is a double joint. The double joint is crazy. I don't know why they did this much for this giant Sentinel, but the double joint, right there, like it's more than 90. Almost can kick its own butt. Not quite though. The boot, again, as I said, the boot swivels. You can play around with that boot, make that flip around. So there's that. You got boot swivel. You have thigh swivel as well. Hold on, let me move it up. Move up the camera. You have thigh swivel. It can kick. The other great thing about also, by the way, not having it detailed is it doesn't matter. It doesn't really match up. Like it kind of does look weird, but you don't notice it as much as like I don't know. Anyway, the legs. Latch into that far, but like really doesn't need to go too comfortably. Probably not. Oh god. I forgot. Okay, so the legs are like weirdly ragged. The like I feel like it's like a soft ratchet or something. But they can kick up to that high. Again, I don't know why a Sentinel would need to kick higher than that. So I'm okay with it. That would be so crazy. Just have like a giant kung fu robot. If you're wondering what's going on in my mind, by the way, it's that Sentinel is so big, it's covering the camera. And I even tried to like figure out a way to have it like super raised up, and that's even hard. Okay. There is a couple of weird things I will point out that most people have already pointed out as well. The posing is a little tricky to keep it standing because it tends to, for whatever reason, want to lean a little forward if you don't ratchet everything in properly. I bet it's okay. I will mention you have to be very careful by the paint, as other people have mentioned, it can scratch. Sorry, technical difficulties. Because I think it's standing on the foot weird. I think that's what's going on. There we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. I think other people also had trouble with this review. So I hope that I'm doing this justice as much as I can. So then you have there is believe it or not. By the way, you can tell there's also like a little bit of a tear on the overlay here, so I'm gonna be very careful. You believe it or not, there is waist articulation. It goes down that far. Like again, it's super big, so I don't think that you need that much articulation. It does again kind of tilt backwards very little. Most importantly, the main reason you want this articulation though is because then you can have him turn around to the side. That's where the wrist, that's where the actual the waist swivel goes. It's like it doesn't really matter that it can't go forward or back. You just need it to go side to side, which is totally okay. Oh my god, like matching it up is like. Like I said, it's very tricky to keep the joints in place when you're posing because it's very clicky. Right, you go that way. So there's that articulation there, and then you go into the arms with the articulated hand. So you can see, obviously, I already put it in the classic peace sign. The arms do have a double joint, which is an interesting choice. I think they could have done deep cut joint, but they do have double joint. So it looks like normal. This is what it is with one joint on the bottom. You could also do just double. You could also just do the bottom. And my camera flew up when I did that, so I apologize. You can also do that, so you get 90 degrees, and then you get a little bit more than 90. Again, it's kind of interesting that they chose that with the joint instead of just a deeper cut here, but yeah, whatever. And then you do get your bicep swivel. No, this doesn't move. That's right, this doesn't move, but you do get your articulated hand. Stop, moving camera. You get your articulated hand. And then you get your articulated fingers. So you can obviously do the classic the articulation in the fingers, by the way, are really good. And the thumb is insane. I don't even know why I don't even think that that's human. But it's a robot, so it doesn't matter. But in case if you wanted it to go hyper-extended, you can. Otherwise, it's because it's got a ball joint, and then it's got the regular finger joints. And then the fingers have 3 joints themselves. So you get 1, you have 2, and then you have 3 on the top. And then I do believe that technically the fingers do swivel. So if you needed them to, you do. and then the arms go all the way 360. So there you go. And then head articulation is actually pretty good. Just again, you need a couple of hands, but they do. There is a double joint. There's a joint in the head, so that the head can go, and then there is a joint in the neck itself. The neck joint doesn't really go very far. It does kind of like back and forth. There's no, yeah. So the head is, moves as much as a robot should. You're not gonna have it like go crazy and like look all the way down. It's a giant robot. I don't think that the Sentinels did that anyway. The only thing in this kind of, one of the things you can't recreate, you cannot recreate really, is it trying to go down on someone, like trying to like crouch down to meet somebody, like standing, or like crouching, which is fine because again it's a giant robot. But you can if you're able to like balance it right, you can have it like look down that way. So, all right. Now that we went through articulation, I know this is probably the longest video. Outside of my horrible transformer videos, we can't transform things quickly. Alright, so now to go on with the accessories. Oh my god, this thing is so huge. I'm just going to like get it into the window. So it does come with, as I said, it does come with a damaged dome. Little battle damage dome, and then that leaves you access to the faceplate, which has a little tab on top here. I'll show you once I pull it out. But it's probably easier to get it from the sides. But there is a tab. There is a tab on top of there. And then that's the face. That's the normal face. And then you get the battle damage face, which has details, but like still somehow in like that costume kind of details, which is very interesting. It's very cool that they're able to keep that. And then that just like slaps the cape into place, and then you have the non-damage drum dome. So you can do that. You could also put the damage one on. So you get full on. You get the full on review because of the damage here, like I said, you do get two chest plates. You do get a regular chest plate, which you just kind of snap in. And then there's a divot down here where the muscles are cut out. So you can easily, if you can switch them out, you just kind of pull out that divot, and then you can switch it out with the damage battle damage one, which is this one with the wires. Somebody was mentioning they should have just done that whole chest overlay, and I'm like, yeah, that would have been cool. But then the problem with that, as I've been looking at these reviews, is that then they'd have to have this figure out. You'd have to figure out a way for this to come off, so that they could take it, because this is pretty deep in here, and like not super deep in comparison to like a regular figure, but like it's like right here. So you'd have to have this either cut out or something. You'd have to change this part of the overlay to have a chest. So I'm okay with it just being the only battle damage stuff. I mean, it could just be nothing, I guess, but this is cool that you have an option to kind of give it a little bit of battle damage. And then you do get blast effects. So it's interesting because you only give you two, and someone else is mentioning this. You only get like two of the different sides. Yeah, that is kind of weird. But you get your long blast, you get your short blast, and then you get the big, I don't know what you call that. That's like flash, I guess, muzzle flash, and then a small muzzle flash. And they kind of just go in tandem. They're a little bit loose, and they do come off when they're not in there. But you can, when you put them on, they kind of hold in place because there's that like hole right here. And then if you, I don't know, I guess if you have a hot toy, I guess if you're someone that owns hot toys, you have a stand. But if you wanted to, they do have holes in the bottom, and you could technically make it like rocket blasts, like this. But I don't have a stand that's big enough to make a flying Sentinel. So he's just a ground. He's gonna always be a ground trooper for the time being. While while I was saying there are some things that could be improved on this. It's very little things, and it's honestly understanding engineering, figure engineering, and other stuff that I know why they couldn't do it, and it makes sense. And like unlike in some of the other reviews, I'm still giving this. This is like a perfect. This is a 10 out of 10. This sets the stage for all of your displays. You can do pretty much most things. The only problem, like I said, the only thing I wish they could figure out is a way for it to be able to like crouch down, right? Like so it'd be. Whoop. Hold on. Oh my god. So it would be kind of like this, right? It would be kind of like, I know it's crooked right now. I'm having to hold up this figure. Like it would be kind of like this. Because like you can, oh my god, that's ridiculous. Hold on a second. Look how ridiculous this is. Like that, that's a pose in itself. Like it's tracking back. But because there's a limitation here, because I don't know. Oh, okay. I just needed to pull it a little more. Never mind. It can do a little bit more posing. Sorry, I guess this has always been stuck. Like I couldn't bend it further. That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, then never mind. Didn't get what I was saying. It still can't crouch down though. It still can't like crouch like this. Oh. And like crouch down, like to shoot down. Which again, not a big deal because giant robot. I mean, I feel like that would be pretty crazy flexibility. But yeah, like I think it's a great figure. It was do something. I think originally it was for made to order, which it should have done it then. It was $170. So it was like significantly less as far as like a discount. But I didn't think about it, and I was like, oh, that's too much. That's crazy. And then I was like, no, I really think this is like a really cool thing. I don't know why I didn't get it in the first place. Especially because it made to order. Like it wouldn't have charged me until December, but whatever. Like I said, there was additional buff in the price, but it's actually even for that price, it's good. It's a really cool figure. It's a cool statement piece. It's a cool added addition to your display. So I would say, without being too much longer, 10 out of 10. Definitely, if you're into X-Men, if you're into Marvel, or if you just want like a giant robot in the 1/12 scale figures, pick it up. Anyway, before this video goes any much longer, we're going to go ahead and back out. And always remember, you are worthy, you are loved, you belong, and you can do wonderful things. Keep your star shining, and we'll always be looking for you in the night sky. Going off air.